Looks like rain.
Yo,
Keep falling on my head.
Red Rat Chat here.
Just like the guy who's
Uncensored.
before his bed.
It's rare. Gonna talk about current events, but it's gonna be related to God, the Bible.
Those raindrops
Come
are
on in
falling.
here.
They
Friday
keep
night.
falling.
Stop sinning. Let's talk the truth.
Falling on my head.
Yo, where are you?
Falling on my head. So I did me some talking to
Let's talk about the current state of fail out there.
Said I didn't like the way you got things done, boy.
You look out in the streets everywhere you look, it's a fail. It's a major fail. Minnesota's a fail. New York is a fail. California is a fail. Chicago is a fail. What the hell? This used to be the most beautiful country in the world. Well, maybe not the most beautiful in the world, but the best run, the best like amenities, and now we're like a third world country. We got idiots in the street. We got riots. We got people attacking the police. You'd think we're looking at the news around the world, but we're looking at our streets, our people, our well-fed, well-clothed, well-housed people. It's not the bums. It's not the homeless. They're not creating any violence. They're not creating any problems. It's the housed. It's the fed. It's the clothed. They're the ones in the street acting like vagrants and bums. Yeah. So what's up, people? Yo, where's everybody? Nobody? Nobody's there? Anybody? Go outside. Yo.
Female voice.
Yo.
Male voice.
Yo. That's like a little kid's voice.
Lolly voice.
That's funny. The man voice that makes me sound like a little kid. What's up? Hey, thanks for coming in. I was wondering if anybody was coming in Friday night, talk about current events. That's not something I normally talk about, but our world's falling apart around us, and I see it everywhere, and I think that, man, we need to address it, man. We need to address it. Hello. You know, we need to address it. It's like, and it all relates. It all relates to how we behave, and whether you do or don't believe, how you behave relates to everything. Everything you do. I'm good, thank you. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are all having a good Friday night. It's been a crazy week. I've seen a lot of people acting real crazy, getting real upset with each other. A lot of fake people, a lot of dangerous people, a lot of keyboard warriors. You know. So here's where I was going to start. I got a couple things I just want to throw out there. First of all, you know, people always ask me, like, why do you have God? And I said, well, because it helps me relate to all the things that happen in the real world, the chaos, the danger, the violence, and all the things. It helps me not be afraid of all the evil in the world, because what you see when you're afraid of something, when you look at someone wielding a hammer or a gun or a car and they're dangerous, what you see is a demon, a manifestation of evil in a human being that has taken over their mind, creating their behavior. And I say that behavior all the time because even without religion, without God at all, you can control your behavior. So even for the people that don't believe, you can control your behavior, which leads to the outcomes. The people always say, well, they shouldn't do this. Well, they shouldn't do that. No, they should do everything the same way they do it, because every action has a reaction. If you're not out there creating the action, no one would have to react to you. No one would have to taser you if you weren't acting crazy. No one would have to take you out of the car and arrest you because you wouldn't give up your driver's license for speeding. No one would have to do any of those things. You know, you don't have to live in sin. You don't have to live in hate and violence. You can choose different. And so I'm going to read this. This comes out of Psalm 139. It goes like this. It goes, surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me therefore, ye bloody men, for they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them thine enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me, and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So it's all in here. Everything that's going on in the world around you, there's an answer to it right there. It's clearly that. It's like, oh, you see all this wickedness around you, but I don't want to be part of that. Can you lead me away from that? And he surely will. And he surely will. And there's much more that goes with that. But you think about the character of these people that you see in all the chaos. It's always the same type of character. Type of people that have careless abandon. Type of people that will abandon their family for fame or for fortune. You know, the type of people that will get involved in chaos only to be part of it, to martyr it. So here we go. This is where I'll go even farther with it, because then I'll read 140 from Psalm, and it's like this: deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man. And then this is which imagine mischief in their heart continually are they gathered together for war. And so you look around these people. That's the kind of people you see out there in the streets. You see these people. They speak wickedly. They speak violently, and they're gathered together for war. They have sharpened the hit. And here's an even more clear thing of these people standing on the street with their chaos. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah. So, keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have proposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords they have spread, a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah. So that's literally a description of these kind of people out there blocking the way of what needs to be done, blocking the society, blocking the future. You can only turn things into chaos and expect it to be chaos. What happens is nothing comes from chaos. What comes from chaos is more order. So the more chaos you make, the more the people who think they're in charge will create more order against what you want. And that's when you lose your privileges. You go so far to create so much trouble that then they step in and take away your privileges. Go, where'd everybody go? You guys got scared? I got a little bit too scared of God, man. It's only a couple verses, bro. Ha. Not afraid, though. Because we've got to go even deeper. We've got to go even deeper into that. You know what I mean? You got to go even deeper into that. You got to go 141. He says, Lord, I cry unto thee. Make haste unto me. Give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. He says, set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. keep the door of my lips. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked words with men that work iniquity, and let me not eat of their dainties. So, and then, I got to add this because this is right connected to it. Let the righteous smite me, it shall be kindness, and let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head, for yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities. Yeah, that's right. That's modern day people right there. That's everything. It's everything going on around you. Explained. Those people and their behaviors explained right there in Psalms between 139 and 141. Pretty much explains all those people. You know, lost, upset, deranged people out there in the world. What you have to do is stay true to your path. You have to stay true to your faith. God wants you on your path. God doesn't want you on their path. God doesn't want you on the next path. He wants you on your path. And everybody's path will be explained to them as they live, as they follow faith. But you have to follow faith to find the path. You can't just wonder where your path is. You actually have to. You have to actually believe. You have to find God and say, "Okay, God, I believe you. But what is my path?" And you have to start to live by the behavior. And I think that's the hardest part for people. Is the thing about Christianity that scares most people the most is like they're afraid of what they have to give up. And it's not really what you give up. It's what you could gain in the long run. You know, you're not giving up things. You don't want those things because you'd rather have the Lord. So it's not like you're giving up anything. I mean, if anything, it's almost like it's a trade. You're trading the things you don't want and don't need. But I've said before that you can't be the person you want to be without leaving the person you used to be behind. You can't grow into the person you need to be without letting the old person that you need to leave behind. It's just like friends when you grow. Thank you. Thank you. It's just like friends when you grow. It's unfortunate that you grow away from your friends, but you do. And the reason you grow away is because you have different values and different morals and different paths. And sometimes they don't connect in the end. And if you're a believer, people will leave out of your life. A lot of times it's because God took them out of your life. He took the things that you no longer need to put you on the path of the things you need. You might end up in darkness because one day the light is coming. There is no path. There is no path explained before it happens. The path is the path. So you have to take the things. That's why we say take opportunities. Because if positive opportunities land in front of you, your doubt, your negativity, you're thinking that it won't happen, that's Satan. That's the devil. That's the evil. That's the weakness in you. Because God says it will happen. He says all things under him are possible. So that's the key to it. The strength you get from God only amounts to the amount of belief you have in God. That's my message for today. You look around the world around you and you see all the weak, feeble-minded people. You see these feeble keyboard warriors with their painted fingernails and their colored hair screaming at the world. You see these psychos out in the street doing crazy shit, burning shit, attacking the police, attacking the law enforcement. Jobs are jobs. Rules are rules. We don't make them, but we live by them so that everybody lives by them. And we can't go along and pretend like we individually get to decide what rules and don't follow. God says clearly, he says you follow the rules of men only to keep, because it keeps the peace. But you have to follow the rules of men under God. So you have to have faith and you have to be righteous in your moves and in your actions. They have to line up. They have to match. You can't talk righteously and behave indignantly. You know, People say all the time, well, look at you, you're all tattooed, this and that. Yeah, that's my past. That's the road that brought me here. Fallen down and stumbled all the way until I found the Lord. And then once I found the Lord, I don't have space to do tattoos now. But, I'm not going to black them all out because that's just more tattoos. So to me, that's sacrilege all in itself. That's just doing the whole thing over more and more and more over all of it again. That's insanity. So, and part of living with life is living with your consequences, living with your lessons, living with the things you do. I say it all the time. That kid that got shot in the eye with the pepper ball, good. Fuck around and you find out. You get shot in the eye with the pepper ball. I bet you he doesn't run up on a cop ever again. I bet you he never goes into a crowd control situation again and runs up on those people. It's just like all the idiots that have been tased. Once they've been tased, I bet you they don't need to get tased again. Because the second time the dude's like, I'm going to tase you, they're like, oh shit, I don't want to get tased. That sucks. That's what consequences are. That's what life is. But when you learn, you don't live the same consequences. That's why that's why they say that you get wiser. It's not that you get wiser, it's that you learn the things you don't want to suffer from over and over. I guess you would be wiser because that's what you're learning, But to live, they think there's no consequence and there's no value and there's nothing and nobody anywhere is bigger than you. That is narcissistic, blind, retarded behavior. There's no God, there's no nothing, there's no nobody, there's no Buddha, there's no Allah, there's no nothing, there's no sunshine, there's no moon, there's no rain, there's no clouds, there's no sky, there's no land, there's no cops. They're not really cops. Those aren't real guns. Those aren't bullets. Well, what the hell is wrong with people? Are you retarded? So, it's like, it's just, draw here. Courage. You need courage. You look to Psalms 112:8. God gives us victory. You need strength. You need to find strength. You go to John 16:33. Jesus strengthens us, gives us courage. What's up? Scared everyone off. That's all right. Be afraid. Be afraid, because I'm not afraid. I'm protected by God. He thwarts all those who craft weapons against me. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thanks for hanging around. So, the truth is hard for a lot of people to swallow. It's an absolute painful thing for a lot of people to swallow. I think the self-reflection required in believing in God is hard for a lot of people. So it's easier to hide from it. But the sad thing is most people do find God like at the end, but it's usually when they're really sad and like in peril, and in reality, that's too late for him to actually take you into heaven and save you. You can't just go, oh, hey, yeah, I want to go now. Well, once there was this wise man named Charlie who taught me all this stuff. Well, I had already knew a lot of it. I just ran away from it, living a life of sin, covered in tattoos, riding an outlaw club, just drinking and fighting and being a troublemaker. And I started listening to a man, and he spoke the words, and I listened to him, and then I got the book, and I read those same words that I heard him say to see how I felt about it and how it impacted me directly. And it changed my life profoundly. And the more I read it, the more I understood it, the more I believed it, the more I felt it. And I think once you feel it, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't go away. And I think once you actually feel like the strength or power of God in your heart or in your life at all, then it's actually harder to do things against God because you already have that feeling. I'm just saying. That's what I do. I'm the reverend. I just say shit. Whether it's whether you get it or not, that's not up to me. I can't make you get it. I can just share it. And for those of you that get it and appreciate it, God loves you and I love you and we appreciate you. Let's see what else I got. I got some other stuff here too. I did another Psalm. Psalms is huge. Psalms is basically like how to deal with life. Like everything in the Psalms, all your regular life shit. That Psalms is literally like how to deal with life. Like here's the Psalms, like for people who are worried, like when you get broke and you get needy and you get sad. It says like this. In Psalms, this is out of Psalms 9:18. It's for the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever. God won't leave you broke. He won't leave you. He doesn't not hear your prayers because you're poor. So that whole thing about money in the altar, church is mankind's thing. When God spoke of church in the Bible, God never spoke of church as a building with some dude at a pulpit getting gold money in a bin. He spoke of church as the gathering of the people speaking the gospel together. So 6-8 people in the backyard, that's church. 300 people in the parish that only show up to the parish once a week to pretend that God's going to save them from the all time is absolutely fake. I never going to church have spent more time with God probably than most fake Christians who go to church and claim that they have found something that they haven't found. I don't dress up fake for that. I don't make that one appearance, get in the car, get the car shined up nice and good, get the nice clothes on, make everyone in the neighborhood think you're real respectable. And then put your money in the bin and put more money in the bin than the guy next to you so that you'll get validation from God, because that's not where validation comes from. You know where validation from God comes from? Work. Works of God. You living in the word of God. You preaching the word of God to fellow men. You helping your fellow man. You supporting your fellow man. Loving your enemy. All these things. You don't have to help them and you don't have to do stuff with them to love them. That's where people get all twisted. You just don't have to hate and murder them. And that's the problem with the sides in the country. The sides, right and left. There's no right and left. There's good and bad. There's right and wrong. There's God and there's the devil. And when you go in actions directly against God, that is the devil. It's that simple. So when you see sinners and sin and Satan out in the street, men dressed as women, all crazy shit, that's real. That's end times coming before your eyes, and God will come and judge that. If you guys think that all these societies in the past histories just disappeared without a trace because nobody knew why, bullshit. God says clearly in this book that he's wiped out like 6 civilizations, and they're all gone. They're all gone. Sodom and Gomorrah, gone. You know what they found in Sodom and Gomorrah? Thousands of sulfur balls in the land. Oh, I don't know. What did he say? He said he rained down sulfur from the sky and burnt that place to the ground. The mountains were scorched. That's weird. It says that in here. They found that on Earth. I mean, you don't have to believe because the things are real. You're supposed to believe because you have faith. I mean, I could tell you 100 things that I could think could help prove to someone who doesn't believe in God. And I got asked this the other day. If God is real, why doesn't God come down here and show himself? What? He did come down here and show himself, and you fucking killed him. God came down to the earth and showed himself to mankind, taught us all the wonders, showed us the miracles, even after it was written 1,000 years that he would come. And we murdered him. 2,000 years later, God sends Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk starts talking to thousands of children around the world about what? About God and about faith and about the future. And what happens? Those same type of people murdered him. So God did come here and he did show himself and he does show us the miracles. It is the truth. And you don't have to believe it. I'm just saying. I know it. I don't have to prove it to you for me to know it. That's the cool thing about belief. Is see the thing about crazies and idiots and ideologists is the shit they share, they're trying to force you to understand it. They'll keep selling their point, trying to get you to understand it. I don't need to sell it to you. What I have is the truth. Whether you buy it or not, that doesn't matter. I'm not Starbucks. I don't care if you buy the product. God cares, but all God cares about me is sharing it with you. That's my job. My job isn't to get you to buy God or to believe all these things and all these rad stories that are real. It's just to share it with you and to see the example of what it did to me. 23-year-old troublemaking kid who joined tattooing because it was bad back then. Now it's cool, and now it's fancy, and now it's all on TV, and now it's real respected. But it wasn't when I started 30 years ago. You know, but the person I am today compared to the person I am 30 years ago, it's night and day. That's why I normally never get on here showing all tattoos. I don't try to represent that. That's what I was. What I am now is moving forward with life. And most of these markings don't represent me, except this one right here, release me. This is when I found faith and I had this little spot left in my chest. And I said, release me, God, because I have a lot of these tattoos on my body are not appeasing to God. And they would not be. So I put this at the very top to let him know that I apologize for all this. Like I said, blacking it out is just doing more. So if the process of doing it isn't right, then doing more of it to undo it definitely is not fucking right. Excuse my French. I said tonight would be uncensored. You go look at the rest of them, you won't find that. So, I'm doing good. It's to have you, Frost. Oh, we're just talking real in here. You know, we're talking about the real world and how it affects us. We're reading Psalms, talking about how that relates to all those crazies out in the street and all the stuff that they're doing. Where else in Yeah, exactly. Every man is brought into sin. From the minute that Eve convinced Adam to eat the apple, all man was born into sin. You know, man was created perfect previous that. But I, in front of the Lord, am embarrassed because I'm naked, said Adam. I am Adam. Hello, given gotcha. So when you look at it in reality, you are Adam. You are Eve. You do live in the reality of it, the truth of it. You know, are you naked and ashamed? I am. In front of God's eyes? Absolutely. Have I done stuff in my life that only he could see that I know is bad? Absolutely. That's why we're human. That's why he died on the cross for us. He came here to prove that it was real, that God was real, that the power was real, that the word was real, the miracles were real. And then we killed him because Judas and money and power and fame, all those things led behind the evil people that led to his death. And he resurrected to prove to mankind he was really here to save us, and ascended back to God, who he is God, because he's from God. He just came as man. So you get free salvation from believing that in your heart. That's it. Everything else comes after that. But you get the free salvation from that. That's what people don't understand. Not because you